Please welcome to the Financial Brand Forum, digital marketing expert and banking thought leader, Mr. Lincoln Parks.
How you guys doing today? You enjoying the conference so far? Been going good? Awesome. I want to see a show of hands. How many people are marketing directors for the bank? All right. How many people, keep your hands up. So you're in charge of all your digital strategy. I want to see a hand of any of the executives. Okay. All right. And I want to see a hand of the folks that don't do anything with digital marketing at all. Okay, we got one. All right, I have something for everybody. I want to share with you guys. I'll just give you a little bit of background on myself. I started my agency about 10 or 15 years ago. I was called in by a CEO of a bank, and he said, "Hey, Lincoln, I like what you're doing. I like the things that you're doing. I want you to come work with me. I want you to come work for the bank." So for the past 8 years, I've been the marketing director for a bank. I've been in executive management for the bank, and most recently just left the bank to re-engage marketing and digital marketing for financial institutions because it's very important. My last role was innovation manager and strategy for a small community bank in Georgia, and there were so many holes, so many gaps that we uncovered in this process. I said, you know what, I need to share some of this information with other people, because when I go and sit down with a bank, one of the first questions that banks ask me, one of the CEOs asked me was, what do you do to get more market share? How many people have heard that before? They're always asking, what do we do to get more market share? We're a small community bank, and we have just up the street, we have all of these larger regional banks, and we want to get some more market share. What do we do? And as we were sitting down, I said, there's only one thing. Right now, this is what your marketing looks like. It's not clear. It's not concise. You don't have a plan. You don't have a strategy. And this is what I've seen over and over and over again as we go in and work with community banks. How many people would agree that clarity is critical? Very, very critical. And I know you guys came here to learn about some strategies, but before we get into any of the strategies or anything like that, I wanted to just lay the groundwork, lay the framework, because I've been in rooms, and I know you have as well, where they're like, Lincoln, we just want the results. Give us the results we want it now. We want more deposits. We want our loan growth. We want it right now. Hold on, guys. Slow down a little bit. Let's start from the beginning. How many people have had this conversation and your executives continue to push back on you, and it's like, no, we need results? Let me see a show of hands. Okay, well, I'm not alone. All right? So clarity is critical, and we know that. And the first thing you need is a documented journey. I know a lot of people have heard about this before, and you may have some, so you may say you have your documented journey, and I ask this question all the time. Okay, hey Lincoln, yeah, we know where we're going, we know what we're doing. And I said, okay, can you show it to me? Crickets. Oh, well, we have it right here. This is where it's at. Well, can you translate that to paper for me? Because if you don't have a documented journey, you don't know where you're going. I'm from the Bahamas. I was born and raised in the Bahamas. I love to sail, been out sailing all the time, and if you don't have a compass, you're gonna be lost. You don't know where you're going. And this is what I tell those executives every single time. If you don't have a documented journey, you don't know where you're going. So the first thing, and laying the groundwork, as you guys can see, you're starting from awareness. How does someone become aware of your financial institution, all the way to them becoming a raving fan of your financial institution? And this is what you need to do. Imagine we're sitting in the room with the executives, and they say, hey, Lincoln, we want you to 2x every single part of this strategy. So we're going through and we're gonna 2X every single part of this strategy, all the way up to them becoming a raving fan of the bank. Is it that easy? No, it's not. That would be 256x growth. And that's not gonna happen. Realistically, that's not gonna happen. But what if we 2x just one? Just one of those areas, one at a time, documenting exactly what you're gonna do to become aware of customers. I wanna hear from some of you guys, and you could shout it out if you want. Like, from an awareness standpoint, what do you do to get the attention of someone for your financial institution? Anybody? Google Ads, okay. What else? OTT, okay. What was that? Billboards, okay. Anything else? What was that? Promotional rate, okay. All right. There are many different ways, many different things that you can do to optimize each one of those channels. And you guys named some of those here today. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take it one stage at a time. I want you guys to pay attention to this. You can't have predictable growth if you haven't first documented how strangers become prospects, prospects become customers, and customers become raving fans. I remember, I'll tell you a quick story. I was in college, and a buddy of mine, we were sitting down, and I was watching the Chicago Bulls, and you know, he was like, "Hey, Lincoln, I'm going over to this girl's house, and you know, I need you to go with me because you know about setting up the PowerPoints and all this stuff. I'm not good at that stuff. I want you to come with me." And I said, "No, man, I'm watching the Bulls. I can't. I'm not going to go." Begged me. Finally, I went. All right, I walk in the room, and she's a beauty. And I'm like, "Oh, my gosh, I'm glad I came." All right? What would she think if I got down on one knee right now and proposed to her? She would think I'm absolutely crazy. But that's what we do with our marketing. We put an ad in front of somebody and we expect them to be customers like day one. It doesn't happen like that. That's why we have to take it stage by stage and create what we call the growth triad. I'm going to explain this to you guys. Growth triad. Number one is the documented journey. We talked about that and how we're going to document our journey. And I'll go a little bit further into that as well. Then we have actionable metrics. What's actually happening? How are we getting there? What are we doing? How do we know if this marketing actually works? And the third piece of that is tools and tactics. I see a lot of people, when we go into banks, have one or the other. Or maybe they may have two. They may have a documented journey, and they may have some actionable metrics, but they don't have the tools and the tactics. So they may have one or the other. So if we look at this, if you have a documented journey and you have actionable metrics, we call that stuck in the mud. Because you know where you're going, and you know what the actions are, but you don't have the tools and the tactics in order to perform it. All right? Then the next part of that is you may have a documented journey, have tools and tactics, but again, you don't know what works. That's like you're a bull in a china shop, just running all over the place. Hey, Lincoln, do you know what worked? I don't know, but we got some leads. We don't know where they came from, but you know, we got them. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we're not a one-hit wonder, having one of the other, but we want to make sure that we have predictable growth. Predictable growth. And this is how you can have predictable growth. Customer journey, all right? You guys can read that. Customer journey delivers what every company needs, a predictable flow of customers. That's what you guys, a predictable flow of customers, not coming in here or there trying to figure out, hey, where we're going, what am I doing? Then it aligns your business objectives across departments. You know, we work with the lenders, they want something else. We work with the executives, they want something else. This is going to align everybody in one path, one vision. This is where we're going. It aligns all the interests of the company together. And it establishes a shared vocabulary across the board. This is what now organizes your organization and your financial institution. And you're not haphazard and all over the place. And now it's going to be documented in a process. And that's something I'm going to take with you guys. So from the beginning, awareness. This is how someone sees your bank. And some of the people called out some of the things that you can do. They find you in search. They hear about you. Billboard somewhere, they hear about the bank. They see you. Second thing is a prospect might read a blog. They might see something on social media. They may watch a video, something like that. Now they're engaged with the bank. Okay, so they're moving to the next stage of the process. All right, you hadn't asked them to come on board yet and open an account. Nothing like that yet, but you're just laying the groundwork. And this is the exact same thing that I did with my wife. I used this. I said, okay, I'm going to just play it cool here. I'm not going to propose right away, but I'm just going to play it cool, and I'm just going to ask her out on a date. How about that? That's the next prospect. That's the next step. Subscribe. They opt in to receive some targeted content or something from your white paper, whatever it is, some document, something that you guys have. It may be a process that you have at your financial institution, whatever that is, it's there. So that's what I did. I asked her out on a date. It took me about 10 times calling and hanging up and all that stuff, but you get the point. Next step is convert. And that's when now that individual opens an account, all right? But this is my favorite, this next part is my favorite step in the entire process, and that's the excite phase. That's when they have the aha moment, and you have to do something. I don't know what it is. Some people do welcome gifts of cards. They enter people into drawings. They do whatever it is. This is the aha moment. This is what's going to make things sticky, all right? They have that aha moment. I asked my wife out. She said yes. And guess what I did? My aha moment for her, I know guys didn't do this back in the day. I didn't have a car at the time. I was still in college. Don't look bad on me. But I said, pull into the gas station. I'm going to fill your car up with gas. She didn't know that my credit card was almost maxed out, right? But that was an aha moment. She was like, that's different. As soon as we got to the restaurant, I jumped out, went around, opened up her door, got it, and she was like, my God, this guy is really different. This is the aha moment. So what are you doing at your financial institution that's going to make it an aha moment for your customers? I'll share one. When we were at the bank, there was a customer that came in, they made a deposit, they left some stuff, went home. The branch manager, they had a relationship. Branch manager said, oh my gosh, she left her booklet or whatever it is, she left it. They could easily just call her and say, hey, we want you to come, you left your stuff, come back and pick it up. No, the branch manager, she lived at least 45 minutes away from the branch. The branch manager took that on his way going home, dropped it, went up to her house, dropped it off, gave it to her, and guess what? That was her aha moment. Making her sticky with the bank, just doing something a little extra. And one of the last pieces here is the ascension ladder. Now this is where now, after they've become excited, they really want to know more about the bank, what you're doing. Now this is where you can offer other products and services, just as an upsell. This is now they're becoming more engaged with your financial institution, and now they want to do more. So again, what we're going to do, go through this entire process, and this is where you guys need to get in a room, and you need to document this on paper. And you need to go from each step, and you need to say, let me go back, go from each step and say, what things can we do to make customers aware? What things can we do that's going to help us engage, subscribe, convert, excite, up the ascension ladder, which is your other products and services. They may want a HELOC, they may want mortgage, something else that you can offer to those customers. And there's technology that's built in the back of that as well. and that's how you're going to retain your customers. And then at the advocate stage is where now you can ask them for a case study, you can get a referral, and now after they pass that step, they become a raving fan of the bank. And I'm going to share with you guys some examples of what we did when I was at the bank and how we move people along that process and that journey. All right, so just share with you guys real quick. You guys know some of these tactics already to attract people. Geofencing, we're going to talk a little bit about geofencing. How many people have been using geofencing? Awesome, that's good. Good to see that. Social media and PR, that's there. You got to double down on your social media and PR. OTT, somebody had mentioned that. Connected TV, SEO, voice optimization. With all of the devices that are in our homes right now, voice search engine optimization is really, really big. Your website, blog, content, landing pages, video, A/B testing your website to make sure you know where people are going, what they're doing, what they're looking for, and making those changes. Then marketing automation, using marketing automation tools to where you can move people along the funnel. And you can segment those people as they come, they open up an account, they're interested in different things. You could tag them. Once you tag them, now they're in a separate bucket and they're segmented along that journey. And that's what you want, to be able to automate things. Now they come in and have a consultation with the customer service representative. Then they're a part of a webinar that you want to share with them, financial webinar, just sharing some information with them. And they're in their, the CRM, we mentioned segmentation. And then at the end, you have your customer advocacy programs and your loyalty programs. And this is how you document things, you know what you're doing along the process. So I want to share with you the first strategy. And this compromises of some, takes care of the first few steps in the process. So we're going to talk about some tactics, but again, you have to document the whole journey. That's the purpose of this entire thing. So leverage your brand and programmatic advertising to attract and acquire new customers. All right. Anybody know this guy? All right. What does he always say? Market where the attention is. That's what he does. Everywhere he goes, it's all about attention. He doesn't care who likes it. He doesn't care whatever. It's about attention, and you want to create as much attention as possible. So he takes one piece of social content, and he creates 13 other pieces of content. We could do the same thing at financial institutions, all right? Just off of one. You guys are maybe going out and looking for influencers and stuff for your bank, but you have influencers right in your organization. That was some of the things that we use. I use myself as an influencer, local influencer, for the bank organization that I work for. Whenever I would go out and speak and talk, I would always have recommendations of things that we did at the bank. Same thing that I'm doing here today. A local influencer, and what you're doing now is just sharing information about what the bank has done. So it's all about attention. Create the perfect storm with brand on social. We know about all these social platforms. We know about all of them. But are we using them effectively? Where are your customers? Who are you trying to attract? Those are some of the things that, as you're going through that customer journey worksheet, that you need to figure out. We're not going to go into detail because you guys are using social media, but are you using it effectively? You're creating those extra pieces of content off of one. So we're going to talk about geofencing. Some of you guys are already using geofencing, where you could put a virtual perimeter around a real world location, all right? So we know it uses GPS to identify anyone that comes into that particular area, all right? You're here, these people are coming in, and one of the things I'm gonna share with you guys, a couple different ways on how we're using geofencing. Set up interest-based audience, okay? People are interested in certain things. They may be interested in that HELOC that we talked about. They may be interested in opening up an account for their child. Whatever it is, you want to set up interest-based audiences. The next thing is geofence your competitors, all right? I'm going to go through a couple of these create listening campaigns, reach out at the right moment when they're crossing into that geofence, and consider the size of your geofences, and launch actionable ads. That's one thing that is huge. You can have an ad out there, but if there's no action, what's the next step? What are they going to take? What's the next thing that they're going to do? All right? So we use the platform, and it allows us to build out now all of our geofence campaigns by target, by audience, by weather, and you guys have seen a lot of this. So, for example, if we wanted to go in by target, and we said, okay, if someone is on premises and they drive into that geofence area, we want to send them a message. By neighborhoods that are around, well, one of the most effective campaigns that we have ran is where the community bank was here, and right up the street, there were about 7 or 8 other regional and larger banks, all right? And what we did was set up geofences around those competitors. And what that did, allowed people to see our ad, just an awareness ad, just to say, hey, we're here, we're a community bank, and we want to be able to put our money back into the community, and you're important to us. Click here. Simple. Drove traffic back to the community bank based on just targeting other banks in the area. Here's a typical example of that. We wanted to attract millennials. Brandon here, he had his own tree company, came in, got a loan from the bank. I think it was about $5 million loan from the bank to start his tree company. He's about 22 years old, and he's making things happen, right? And so we wanted to use him as an example. One of the campaigns that was created for the bank was Heritage is my bank. That's the name of the campaign, right? So he said, trees are my business, Heritage is my bank. And we wanted to attract other millennials that wanted to start businesses, and we targeted them with an ad just like that. So what we did was we had banner ads, we had display ads, we had search, we had video, we had boards in the store, we had billboards, we had everything. We had emails going out, we had the whole gamut running because we knew who we wanted to attract. We went through that customer journey, and we said for each, and as you're going through that customer journey, this is for each one of your products. This is not for the entire organization, but I'm talking about each one of your product lines. You have to do that, and that's how detailed you want to be. So we targeted millennials in that campaign, interest-based campaign. We talked about geofencing your competitors, all right, and just having those folks there. Here's an example of what that looks like. We just added those addresses that were right around the bank, within a 1 mile radius around the bank, and that's walking distance within the bank. So as people come there, they know. And that's a part of what I wanted to share with you guys here. You can use mobile, web, desktop. We talked about CTV, OTT. We're going to talk about that in a second. And so reach out at the perfect moment. But this is the most important thing. Consider the size of your geofences. All right. The reason why we targeted those folks that were right in that area was because they were in walking distance. They were right up the street. They didn't have to go far. Think about it. We've come in and we've done an audit for folks that were running geofence campaigns, and they were running them where it was 30 minutes away. Realistically, you know, how effective is that going to be? Geofencing is more for a locally targeted area. If you're doing something that's more larger where you're driving people in, I could see, but for geofencing that's on a local market, you want to make sure it's only within a 1 to 3 mile radius around your area that people can get to immediately. Because you don't want them driving 30 minutes to get to your financial institution. We talked about these and launch actionable ads. All right, so I'm going to share with you guys something here. As you're having your creative done, all the different sizes for display that we created for these certain campaigns. Again, this campaign was highly successful. We had so many other businesses just join the bank based on this campaign because small businesses wanted to get loans and they saw their friends in the neighborhood that were in the bank's advertising and they were coming in because they wanted to start their accounts. I'm gonna share this quick video with you guys just based off of
In my business, it's not just about hair. I'm a cosmetologist, but I'm also a therapist. I get to share in the lives of my clients. Sure, it takes a lot of energy, but that comes naturally to me. I love my job. I love people. Listening to and understanding my clients is what I do every day, and it sure is nice to have a bank that does the same for me. My name is Darlene Felix. Hair care is my profession. Heritage is my bank.
and we killed it. When I'm saying everybody was coming in and saying Heritage is my bank too. I love this bank because you guys are actually working with people in our community. It doesn't matter the size of your financial institution. Doesn't matter, credit union, doesn't matter bank, doesn't matter the size, small community bank, because a lot of community banks I know have a smaller budget. Larger banks, obviously, they have larger budgets, but guess what? The one thing that they've been missing is that customer journey. The one thing they've been missing is making that detail so you know who you're targeted and who you're going for. The next strategy, CTV, OTT, all right? A lot of, we heard about that connected TV, right? And over the top, that's what that's called. Now let's take it a step further. And you can run geofence campaigns and a CTV campaign simultaneously. So overall, video ad views have shot up over 81% in the latest 6-month period, with 82% of viewing taking place on the big TV screen via connected TV, a growth fueled by AVOD and fast channels. All right, I'm gonna leave that there for a second if you guys wanna take a shot of that. But I wanna break this down for you because a lot of people may see acronyms and don't really know what it means and like, I'm not sure what that means. So just gonna share a couple with you. MVPT means multi-channel video programming distributor. It's like Dish Network, DirecTV. Then you have SVOD, subscription-based video on demand, Netflix, your Disney Pluses. Then you have AVOD, advanced advertising-based video on demand. That's like your $5.99 Hulu, which support ads. Now, you guys, the guys that have had Hulu, you see they give you a choice, right? They're like, which ad would you want to watch? This one or this one? Which one best, suits you? As you're doing that, all they're doing is learning more about who that consumer is. In the platform, it helps to know what that consumer likes so that we can deliver those ads to them. So, anybody remember this? What was that? The Super Bowl ad, all right? And now the one thing I didn't like about this ad, now this was one of the most successful ads ran in the Super Bowl. They spent $7 million for this, all right? Crazy. I couldn't catch it though, it was moving so much. I finally got it, I had to screenshot it and get it. Now I wouldn't move mine like that, all right? I'll just keep it stationary, but that was one of the most successful ads. They didn't say a word. And people would just, the website went down. I mean, they used it so much, the website went down. So again, using that. Using a video ad with the QR code that goes to a landing page to attract your audience while they're watching their favorite TV show. All right, simple. This is easy. This is where now you can take people from while they're watching over to your page, have them complete that landing page, and boom, they're in your database. Another example.
One of the great things about Teller Live is that it's open at 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. I frequently find myself after 4 o'clock having a deposit ready to go. So having Teller Live still allows me to make a deposit after normal business hours. My name is Beth Pearson. Insurance is my business and Heritage is my bank.
Are you guys tired of hearing that yet? That's how many times we ran the campaign until people got tired of hearing it. But when people are tired of hearing it, it's just now getting started. And we kept running these campaigns over and over and over and over again. This one was for interactive teller machine, and they wanted to drive use of the interactive teller machine. The audience at that time, they were an older audience. They were continuing to come in, and then during COVID, when the branches were shut down, this is when we ran this campaign. And this campaign was successful. They saw the numbers shoot through the roof. Obviously, people were still scared to come into the branches, so we said, hey, there's another option. Interactive teller machines, you could go out and use that. So they learned more about interactive teller machines, got comfortable with it, and now people were using the teller machines outside. We know about connected TV and OTT. I'm not going to bore you guys with that, but you see, your Xbox, PlayStation, Roku, Fire TV. This is where you can advertise. Why use connected TV? 195 million viewers are on connected TV. 82% of connected TV users take action after seeing an ad. And guess what? When you see these ads, it's not like it's still happening. This has been going on for years, but when you look at a search ad, you're kind of like, oh, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to get me to click on this. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I've seen people have told me that. But as you're watching television, you're in your pajamas, you're relaxing. Something comes over, you see somebody from the community come up, and you're like, oh man, that's pretty cool. I didn't even know they banked at that bank. 87% of households have connected TV. How many people have connected TV right now in their home? Any of these devices? That's what I'm talking about, right? My wife and I, we cut the cable years ago. We've just been on connected TV since then, all right? Again, you can really get granular and target the folks that you're looking to target with connected TV by gender, age, location, screens that they use, devices, inventory, time slot. You can get as detailed as you want to get. And we use a platform, and I'm sharing that with you guys here. Platform is called Vibe.co. You guys may have heard of it. That's the platform that we use for this. No secret, and we're not trying to, because we want to empower more financial institutions to use this, but use it effectively. And this is a company that I've seen that has been most effective for us. Benefits, increased audience, measurable results and optimization, valuable audience, and no privacy restrictions. And I'm going to talk to you guys about privacy in a little bit here. Again, you can measure it. You can measure as people watch on their mobile phones, or they're watching at home, and they come they fill out that form, and now they're in your database. It matches the visitor up based on the IP on their phone, and again, the data from the websites that we collect on the back end. So as people come into the branch, we're able to match that up with what we see based on their phone. Really great technology if you're using it. If you hadn't started using connected TV, I urge you to. But again, I want to make sure that you're not just doing all the tactics and you don't have that documented journey. I'm just going to keep going back to that because that makes sense. For certain campaigns, you may not need to do this. And certain campaigns, you may want to do things together. Geofencing and CTV, I think, is a powerful, powerful combination because it can really get you granular where you want to go and things that you want to do. This is what some of that looks like if it's on television, if it's on a mobile device, you're watching Rick and Morty and your ad comes up, or on a tablet device. So that's what that looks like. And so now I want to share with you guys a third strategy to prepare for a cookieless targeting strategy to increase and retain customers. All right, we know we've gotten used to third-party cookies. Everybody know that's going away. So now it's going to be on you guys. It's going to be first-party data that you're going to need to acquire, and that's why we use a lot of the. We're taking a lot of people from the ad over to a landing page, They agree to opt in, and now we have that information. That's critical, because you're going to have to find ways now on how you're going to be able to market to folks. So fewer than 1/3 of financial institutions are ready for cookieless targeting strategy, with only 28 of financial institutions reporting that they have a plan to address it. How many people, show of hands, and don't lie, have a plan to address how you're going to target folks in a cookieless society? Let me see. All right, I see 1 or 2, 3. This is critical, all right? This is critical to financial institutions, because I know, and working behind the scenes, being in a financial institution and being on the agency side and working together, we need to work together where we can figure out, okay, how are we gonna get these folks to our branches? Or how are we gonna get them to make a transaction online if we can't target them with third-party cookies? It's gonna be on you to make that happen. Yeah, I do. You're gonna have to embrace fintech and ad tech partnerships. So how many people right now are partnered up with a lot of fintechs? Okay, only a couple. I expected more, because, well, let me ask this question before I say that. Let me see a show of hands of folks that are at a community bank. Okay, it's gonna be imperative for you guys, for community banks. How about the regional banks? Okay, couple. How about national banks? Okay, so it looks like our audience here, and I want to make sure that I tailored it for the audience, is more of the community bank feel. And I'll tell you, from being in that space, CEO came and said, we're not doing anything with fintech right now. We are trying to get there, but Lincoln, we need some help. How do we get there? There's tons of fintech partnerships out there. I'm just gonna give you guys an example. One of the things that I was tasked with was simple at a community bank was opening accounts. Very simple. That should have been, you'll be surprised at how many community bankers that are in here, and I don't mean to tailor it to you guys, but that was the majority in here. You don't have a way for customers to interact with you. Something simple, just to open an account. Now they still have to call you, or they have to come into the branch, right, in order to do business with you. You don't have simple as forms on your website where people can just fill out a form. You don't have a chat bot that people can ask a question to and then be routed to different areas. These are critically important for banks of your size, because you don't have the resources in order to do that. And I'll tell you a failure that we had as well. So we implemented a chatbot on the bank's website, but one thing that we failed to realize, our folks couldn't handle the amount of traffic that was gonna come through the chatbot, right? So, and I'm talking about day one, we launched the chatbot out, everybody was excited, and day one we had over 852 folks that were on the chatbot, and customer service was overwhelmed. They're like, oh my gosh, we can't handle this. This is just too much. People looking to, what's my password? You gotta reset this. You got, so we had all kinds of different, so again, a part of that customer journey is making sure that you're ready for this. Your infrastructure on the back end, your people, your folks, are they ready for technology like this? But I'm saying there are fintech companies. Don't be afraid of the fintechs, because I know a lot of executives are afraid of working with fintechs. They're not trying to take your business. They're trying to make you more efficient. And that's how I look at it. I've had a technology background, so it's like, look, we're gonna make each other more effective. Again, deliver personalized messages based on actions with that chatbot. So as people on the website, if they visited a certain area of the website, clicked on something, then the chatbot would engage them. they clicked on an element on the website, or when a customer opens the messenger, then what happened was it would launch a chat session with them, and then based on where they wanted to go, it would route them to a customer service representative at the end of the day. And you can do that. Some of the questions, of course, for compliance reasons, you can't give out stuff via chat, right? So they're still gonna have to talk to somebody. However, what it did, it allowed the bank now to streamline how they were handling the customers. And I know we went through, how many people have gone through a core conversion? Oh my gosh. I didn't understand that thing, and that was a nightmare. But if we had something like this, we would be able to route people where they needed to go, all right? The next thing is organize your data, because it's all over the place. Fintech companies can help you with this. They can allow you now to organize your data using AI and machine learning to where it tells you which segment of customers are engaged, who's not engaged, which products to offer. It will make your life so much easier just by organizing your data and making sure your data is not siloed all over the bank. Next thing is optimize for voice search. Every morning I wake up, I say, hey Google, good morning. Good morning, Lincoln. She turns on the lights, starts making the coffee. She does other things. What's the weather? With more devices like this, you need to make sure that your website is optimized for voice search using long tail keywords, using frequently asked questions, using directions, making sure your NAP, which is your name, address, and phone number, you'd be surprised, are not correct, not accurate. So when people are saying, where's the closest bank to me? If you're not optimized, they're not gonna find you. So making sure that you're optimized, also optimized for near me searches. That's another thing that you wanna make sure that you're optimized. How many people have a Google or Alexa or something like that and you use it on a daily basis? All right, I see a couple hands. Guess what? This is gonna quadruple in the next 3 to 5 years. Every household is gonna be using a voice device. So you wanna make sure that you're clearly optimized for that. 27% of the global online population uses voice search on their mobile devices. 41% of US adults and 55% of US teens use voice search daily. How important are these metrics to your financial institution? 25 to 49-year-olds use voice search more often than any other age group. How important is that when you're looking to target customers? This is data that you need to know, because these are the folks that you're gonna be targeting. And a lot of executives, don't get me wrong, executives in the room, you guys are opposed to this. We're afraid of technology, but it's gonna happen. One way or the other. What's happening to a lot of financial institutions right now? Mergers and acquisitions. It's becoming a need, and if you don't, you're not gonna be there. This is the same thing that happened to Blockbuster. Where are they now? So you wanna make sure that you take advantage of this. The last 3 things that I'm gonna leave with you guys are action steps. Increase your CTV and geofencing budgets, because only 33% of marketers are using both effectively. To build predictable growth, you must have that documented journey that I told you guys about, actionable metrics and tools and tactics that work. We talked about a couple tools, couple tactics. I didn't want to go into that. I wanted to make sure you guys knew about that documented journey, the most important thing that you're gonna need for your financial institution. And the last thing I wanted to leave you guys with, before you try out an omni-channel approach, make sure you are executing in one channel effectively first. Okay, pet peeve of mine, and I know you probably heard this a lot over the last day or so about omni-channel. I don't believe in omni-channel. All right, you guys can throw rocks at me and all that stuff like that later. Omni-channel just tells me that we're doing a bunch of stuff, but it's not effective. We're driving a lot of traffic and we got this omni-channel approach. Hey, Lincoln, we want an omni-channel approach. Okay? Are you doing one thing effectively? Do you know, based on your customer journey, that folks are coming into your organization off of just one channel? If that's not happening, you don't need an omni-channel approach right now. Okay? So, guys, I just wanted to, reiterate to you that having that documented journey is so important. You can use as many tools and tactics as you want, but if you don't have that documented journey at the end of the day, this marketing, all the tactics in the world, you're just going to be spinning your wheels like the hamster and nothing's going to happen. So I just wanted to open it up for questions. If you guys had any questions for me, I would love to answer any questions if I can. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Well, if you're looking for, like I mentioned, that 1 to 3 mile radius, if you're looking for, she asks, is it really important, that mile radius around a branch? Because a lot of, there are online banks right now where people just go on their phone and open up an account. Is it that important to target people in that radius? For us, again, that's going to be for your client. It depends on, who you're working with, who they're trying to target. I recommend that 1 to 3 mile radius around the branch, again, but our demographic was an older demographic. So it depends on, what you're looking for. Yes, sir.
You mentioned the platform for your connected TV. What platform are you using for your geofencing?
Ground Truth.
Ground Truth?
Yeah. So Ground Truth is who we're using for geofencing. Any other questions? No? Well, guys, I truly appreciate you guys spending some time with me today. Thank you so much.